downward to upward like that. I'm bending my line to go forward. Go up and forward. Go up and forward. No matter, you can choose with which foot you're stepping down or springing down. If you're just springing up to the ball, you can meet it sooner. Your opponent has less time. You can produce more pressure, and you risk your net less than usually. What meets criteria of the serve, if I have a problem and I need help right now on a tennis court when I'm playing in a tournament, for example, there are often cases, and I have had such students, they are trying to play the ball cross court, but the ball is gonna down the line. It means I want to use my ball like that to the cross court one game, to the cross court, but the ball is coming down the line. Alright? How can I solve this very problem? There is a trick. I use this trick like that. I am thinking about the middle line. Alright? I want to meet I want to meet the middle of the court, the backhand side, yeah? So I try to think about the middle line of the service court, between two boxes. I'm trying to meet it. This is my aim. I want to aim it. I risk. And if I just see that I risk too much and quantity of balls are on the outside and I'm losing my points, I am trying to concentrate right now on the first serve. I try to reduce the power of the first serve and to use a placement. If it doesn't work, I am trying to use the balls close to the middle line. It means I am not taking as an aim the middle line, but I am taking just a spot between the middle line and 1 meter to the left side when I am looking from this side to my opponent. Alright? I am taking now area to 1 meter or half meter. 3 feet from the left side to the right side, and the ball is better. But you have to see it how it works in practice. You have to practice it. Tennis does not come to you alone. You have to come to tennis. You cannot await that any growing tree will be growing right now up. You have to wait up a certain time. You cannot force a child to speak right now. It must be past of a certain time. It must come at past of a certain time. What about the problem if I hit the ball into the net? There is a tendency in this earth that the people, to 75%, are playing the ball into the net, no matter whether it is serve or grand strokes or volleys. The rest of the balls they are playing to 15% over the baseline and 10% to the left or right side of the tennis court. Now I have a problem wherein I just play the balls into the net. The balls are too short. Why? You have to find why. Maybe the problem is that your racket angle is too close to the ball, is close too much, about a few degrees, so you have to reduce it. And then if you play out, try to reduce power. So now, I try to control my toss, whether it is not too extreme, to forward side. Okay, it's extreme, but it means the racket was close. The ball was landing in the net. If I toss my ball backward, the racket is open. I risk outside, through the length. So I have to stabilize these two aspects somewhere I have to neutralize them. So try to think about the net. This is obstacle. I have to overcome this obstacle. So if I am thinking about the height of two nets, one net over the second net, I try to overcome this second net, and I'm trying to reduce power of the swing. Alright? And I'm trying to risk more out through the lamp than just the net itself. Okay? One more time, I try to imagine I'm visualizing two nets, one upon another. No, I have not reached my purpose. I have met the service due scored box, but it was not the purpose of mine. Now I have reached my purpose. Alright, but there is another way of it, of the same problem. I'm trying to bring a tip, or in. I visualize also two nets, but not one upon another, but one behind another, on another part of the court. So, the most important thing here for the trajectory of the ball is to continue this trajectory. Alright, so continue the length of the height. Now it's working better, see? Whether it is cross-court or whether it is down the line. Okay? One more time. Could you feel my clicks? Alright. That was not reach purpose right now. Now, okay. That's the length of the serve. Don't forget one important aspect here. If you want to use more power with the spin mixture, don't forget that mixture or rotation of the ball reduces power. So you have to compensate, you have to combine just your rotation with the power. The more rotation you want to use, the more power necessary. Okay. Now, it is extremely important for women who are learning tennis, or beginners or advanced beginners, respectively, intermediates. If they have problems that the serve is landing, the ball of the serve is landing behind the service line too often, it's a common mistake. I'm trying to position myself behind the baseline more. It is legal. And I'm trying to prolong my tennis court around about 3 feet. And I'm playing from the distance of 3 feet or how you need. And then my tennis court is much longer than usual. Okay. And you can stand closer to the hash mark, to the center mark, from this place. And position yourself here. I'm choosing your down the line or cross court, but if you still risk, if you have no feeling, at least today, in your hand, I'm speaking now to women or intermediates or advanced beginners, respectively beginners, who are serving already, but you choose your cross-court serve more from these planes. Cross-court is longer than the down the line. Alright? Down the line shot on your serve is more difficult usually, although the net in the middle of the court is lower than on the outside. Now, if you want to prolong still more your tennis court, when you're preparing to serve, outside. You can choose it on this side on the baseline. You have steel. You have always better length. Or you can choose outside on this area, this place. Okay? And you can also run from this place, outside place, or from this location. And I'm playing this stance and running to the baseline forward, and I am setting up myself by I'm trying to make my position at the split step, or so-called stutter, respectively, check step. Okay, so don't forget that this lamp brings you more possibility to use more power and more security to bring your ball into the court, but you have to hit it higher, or you have to hit it faster. Okay? Good. That is what about the serve. Most important things are, now you can't just practice your serve against no man, nobody. Okay? How can you practice your serve when you're alone on a tennis court? Try to use it just like in the game. I am playing against nobody, and I have two serves. Third serve goes into the net. I have still saved one. Now, I have met my service use court, use box, and now I am getting to the left side. I'm trying to serve. Just the end court. Oh, sorry. No. Okay. Just the end court. So I have met first serve already. I have 30 left. And if I make a double fault, that's 30-15. I'm changing my side. Later, you can also practice your serve with only one ball. That means simple, only with the second serve. Now, I have met my ball into the service box, getting to the left side, and it is 15 left. And now, it's double fault. I'm meeting the ball into the net. That's 15 all. Now it's out. That's 30-15. And so on and so forth. Try to use it. If you have problems about your serve, because the opponent makes a pressure, try to invite this opponent exactly with the same serve, your tennis courts or club, and you are very happy if that is opponent of your tennis club, and let you both practice the serve. You're practicing first and foremost your return if you want to get this purpose, and try to play the game on it, and try to meet against him again in a match. Don't forget, more speed on the serve, the less chance you have in your movements of the body, because you have less time. That is connected, that relates as well to the shorter backswing. If you return your ball of the fast serve, try to backswing, to use your backswing, swing back your racket short with your more lower arm, forearm, than with your upper arm. Alright? So you're using this circle motion, this looping motion, okay? This way. And try to bring your body forward right now. Forward so with this instinct of the body, or you can also block your ball like that, right away. To your open stance on your forehand side, to your half open stance, or to your sideways position with block backswing. What are you doing later, the body? You're trying to spring forward. Steffi grab is a good example about that. And you're trying to spring on into frontal position, okay? Into frontal position, if you're beginning like that, you're standing by showing your knees, for instance, 12 o'clock, 1, around about 2 o'clock. From 2 o'clock, you're springing back forward to 12 o'clock. You can rescue many situations wherein you get your balls behind your body, slightly here, and we have a good proof of Steffi Graf of Germany, of he rescues these balls from this side and can play fantastically back. You can also use this springing motion to forward, wherein you're landing forward, and you're right now ready. Okay. I will just mix these aspects now in the game of a tennis court. That's more feedback style of talking. I would just provoke you to discussion about that. That would be great. Okay. If I will give you one example, one question about forehand or backhand. When I am playing forehand or backhand from the baseline, how many lengths do I have to use maximum? 100%. If there is a purpose of using all the length of a tennis court, entire length. If I get to the tee line, if I'm getting just to the middle of the court, of the hot seat zone, I have only 75% of a tennis court. If I get a la Sabatini moon ball, which just constrains me to make my steps backwards, I am finding myself in location, in a stance, in the fans position, fans here, where I burden my back foot. What does it mean? When I bend my back foot, it is defensive very often because I open my racket usually, and if you're running to the net and you have problems that your opponent is lobbing, try to observe his back foot, and as well what he's doing before his swinging motion. Practically, I would say, simultaneously with his backswing motion, with the angle of the racket. If it is open, there is more probability he'll be using lob. Alright? And try to stop before the tee line, before. Don't rush to the net, okay? In this case, when you're getting a good lobber. But I'm coming back to my subject right now again. When I'm finding myself in this position, I am round about 6 to 9 feet behind the baseline. It means that these 6 to 9 feet have I prolonged my tennis court. Alright? So I have to compensate this distance by hitting my stroke back faster by a length of the hand. There is a length of the hand, that means long hitting motion where I try to bring more swing into this space which is needed, indispensable for the hit. On the forehand side, if you're using your looping motion, this circle, we call it in Germany C ladder, okay? You'll be needing around about, if you count it in meters, in Europe, 7 meters. Normal forehand, wherein you always use your looping motion but insignificant, starts with 5 meters. Backhand is less looping motion because you cannot take your racket back so much by your backswing is by your backswing of the forehand side, because the hitting arm on the backhand side is forward, and the hitting arm on the forehand side is backward. Now, I would just bring you one question, and we'll have a feedback. After which stroke can you cover a tennis court sooner? After your forehand or backhand? When you're playing your forehand, you're turning your body right now, immediately, into ready position. Instantaneously into the ready position on your backhand side. Okay, your hips are ready right now and are standing on the sideways position, but you have to turn into recovery position, so to add your left foot in frontal position, okay, into your recovery stance. So after your forehand side, can you be sooner ready than on your backhand side? Don't forget it, that's extremely vital, important. Now, if you want to discover by playing a game, if you're starting in any tournament, and getting your opponent on the other side of the court and you're just hit some balls before, where your opponent has weaknesses or more self-confidence, he will show you. You have to read his position like a book. Look what he's doing. If you're playing to the hash mark, to the center mark, your all balls, try to observe where he's deviating, where he's deflecting to the left or right side. I remember how Vic Braden was talking about it, or how Jack Kramer advised it as a good tip. Alright, I want to use something very important to talk about it. Rod Laver and John